expected Mark to have a bit more available time on the training ground this week? Very busy last week. Has it been nice to change the pace a bit?
Yeah, it has actually. We gave everyone Monday off because, I mean, that was always planned really. After a lot of travelling last week, for everyone to get away from each other for a couple of days was good. I mean, we got back at 5 a.m. on the Wednesday morning, and then we were soon back on the travelling for Friday, and Saturday was a midnighter. So yeah, I think everyone was like glad to get away from each other really. So that was good. Everyone came back in Tuesday, trained really well Tuesday, and then we're getting all the work done now for the games for the weekend. So we've got a busy week ahead, so we need to get that balance right of getting a bit of work done on the training ground, but also mindful that the last week was a really heavy load for people, and some need a bit more recovery than actually training. And then there's probably a group outside the team that have been able to benefit from a bit more work. So hopefully we've got that balance right. We were all out at games Tuesday night. Myself and Gary were at Fratton Park for the Portsmouth game, and Ben was at Lincoln against MK Dons. Barry was with Martin at Peterborough against Charlton. So it was good actually Tuesday seeing the games, because I think we've managed to watch 3 of our next 4 opponents Tuesday night as well. So it's been good. It's been a good week for lots of other things, but certainly pleased with the training sessions Tuesday, and hopefully over the next 2 days we can get ourselves really ready for a big week.
Are you looking all right injury-wise? Have you got anybody back in the mix? I think you were saying last week that Steve Seddon might have a chance for this weekend.
Yeah, Sed's got a chance. He's been training all week, so he's had the all clear to return. So he's back in full training. Harrison Dunk's back in full training, so he's close to being available as well. Harvey Nibbs is coming on really well. We may be able to see him at some point next week, but we'll just see how that goes. He's torched his deadlines really at the moment. So as long as he keeps going, he's got a chance of being available at some point next week. Greg's on the grass with Nibsy and is working as well. He might be back in training at some point next week as well. So just see how those two get along. But Dunks and Seds this weekend have got a good chance of being involved for sure. And if not this weekend, then hopefully in the remaining 12-13 games, they'll have a part to play.
Yeah, and suddenly on the left side of the pitch, you'll have brilliant competition because Brandon being in the mix as well. Yeah,
loads of options there. I mean, the timing of all of those was we were always in a position where we're going to have to add because of the number of injuries we've had in that position. Then we've obviously changed the shape a little bit, which has led to not needing so many in those positions, and everyone's sort of returning at the same point. But I think as well in that area, because of the nature of a couple of those injuries, you never know really whether they're going to be back and if they're going to, how long they'll survive and stay fit for. So we've obviously had to cover ourselves there, and we'll be a little bit heavy in that position if everybody stays fit, but that's one to deal with, and certainly got plenty of options in that side of the pitch. If not everywhere else, that certainly in that area we're very strong.
Yeah, funny the way it sometimes falls. With Harvey then, that's brilliant, because we were talking about 6 or 7 weeks when he originally did the injury, so to have progressed so quickly, and obviously at the front end of the pitch, if you can get an extra option in there, it's massive.
Yeah, huge. I mean, I don't want to peak too early on that. He's made ridiculous progress, but it's not surprising because he just lives for it, and he's done like 24/7 every single thing he can to shave some time off it. He's always one that you think will beat a deadline. If someone tells him it'll be a certain amount of time, he'll shave some time off it. It's why we love him really. He's been great for us, and hopefully we'll have a big part to play in the remainder of the season. But if we can get some good news in the next few days with him, we may have a chance of seeing him next week. But it will all come down to how his next few days go, and hopefully he'll continue on the same line that he has been.
Have we got a more detailed outlook for George Thomas now?
Yeah, 10 weeks. So that's his season done, unfortunately.
Yeah, so you can. It's obviously not good news, but in the sense of it's very black and white, isn't it? You know exactly where you stand.
Yeah, like it's horrible, isn't it? It's a disaster really for us and for him. He's come on for half an hour of a loan spell. It's a bit like Seds is coming back now, but obviously we saw half an hour of him, and then I think what we saw in George in a half an hour was a really exciting cameo of what was going to be coming and why we'd added him and that creativity that we wanted. But it's not there. He's rolled his ankle. He's done his ankle ligaments, and it's going to be a longer term one. So yeah, it's tough for us. It's sort of symbolic a little bit of what we've had so often in the season. But it is what it is. We've got 13 games. This is the squad we got, and we've got to crack on and get on with it. So that's not lacking empathy to him or us recognising it's not ideal for us, far from it. But at the same time, like, we are where we are, roll your sleeves up, let's go.
You talk about having the squad that you've got. Is there no thought bringing Lewis Simper back when you get the chance just to add an extra option in there?
Probably not at the minute. If he can get in the team there, if it carries on as it has been, then maybe. But if he can get in the team there, that will really help him. We will get Kai Yearn back with us, which it gives us another attacking option, which is good. Can play in central position, so he'll come back with us till the end of the season now and come and contribute and see if he can push for a place in the team. So the balance of that is a bit better in the attacking areas. If we can get Shiloh flying, if we can get Kai available and contributing, if we can get Nibsy back, certainly starts to look a little bit better. Obviously Simps is an option, but at the same time, if in the next couple of weeks he can get playing in that team, you're always working that balance between the short term and the fact that he really needs some games going into next season. If he can get them, then great. If he's not going to play there, then obviously him coming back is an option for us to give us that extra depth. But hopefully, if Liam O'Neill continues as he is, he's closer to contributing as well. So we'll just see how that one plays out in the next couple of weeks. It's an option, but not something we're nailed on going to do at the minute.
Presumably, Liam is dead keen to get back in the side as soon as possible, is he?
Absolutely, yeah. He just said he was ready 3 weeks ago, which probably isn't true, but he's chipping away nicely. I want to make sure he's available for all 3 games in the next 7 days and hopefully just build up his tolerance and load and fitness and match sharpness as we go, because we know if in the final 12, 13 games we've got him fit and available, he can be really important for us. So he's certainly working his socks off to contribute, desperate to add value to the team, desperate to play, and I've just got to play a bit of a sensible card that we don't want to break him in this short period returning to the team, but we also know we haven't got a huge amount of games and we're going to have to roll the dice with a few at some point.
In the front part of the team, are you more or less happy with where you are? I know it's tempting to just think about the most recent match, but you'll want to take into account Oxford and Fleetwood as well. Do you think that just tweaking things in the attacking part of the team, you can get to where you want to be? Or are you increasingly thinking that, you mentioned some of the players who are coming back in, that you'll need to change the mix a little bit?
Yeah, well, potentially we'll have some options to change it with. We haven't really had many of those for a while, so that's been tough for us. The ability to change striker for striker or add something different to the team or change the shape hasn't been really there for us. But like, we've got what we've got, that there is very, very little opportunity to add anything that's going to make a difference to us. So we've got to get the best of what we have got. I'm happy with the players that we've got because I think they're good players, but we've got to make sure they look like that, and we've got to make sure they find the level that they're capable of doing. And a massive part of that is just being in there, being in a good flow, being in a good energy, being in a good position and getting a few things going for them. And when we get that, we'll be okay. Overall, throughout the season, we've underhit in terms of scoring goals and creating chances, and that's not just the strikers that play, that's across the team. That's on all of us to be a more creative team as well, knowing that so many of the games we play are going to be really close, and therefore when we're in them, we've got to win them. When we're on top of them, we've got to win them in those moments. So I think that's the big thing for us. And only when that happens will we probably find a bit more confidence and energy to be what we need to be. But I'm certainly sure if we can get them firing, we've got some good players there. But at the minute, we've just got to find that rhythm to our attacking play. And whilst we were low scoring and only scoring 1 against Oxford and not scoring against Fleetwood, the game that we played in both of those games was excellent, really, really good. And that is the level we've got to build on, because if we build on that level, then I'm positive that we'll get results. And we won't win every game, we know that, but we've got to win enough games, and we've got to make sure that we're an attacking threat in order to do that. So part of that comes from our intensity and purpose without the ball, and part of that comes from our decision making and quality with it, and then the ruthlessness and clinical nature to finish chances when you get them. But I've got to try and take the weight of the world off people's shoulders, because that won't help them in any way. Pressure's for tyres, and we've got to remember that.
And with Portsmouth, I suppose you could say a very outside chance of the playoffs, but more with John having come in, a sense that they're just in a bit of transition and looking at a few different things.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fairly consistent with the team as they've played, in terms of shape and players that have played. I thought they were excellent against Bolton on Tuesday. Got a really good result coming from behind. The crowd really lifted them and helped them. It was It's under 18,000 there. Bolton, Portsmouth. What look, brilliant game. Really good atmosphere and everything about it. And you can see they've got that little bounce and energy, and they've got an outside bet of the playoffs. They're saying themselves it might be a stretch too far at the moment, but they've certainly got some momentum back into the season. And they've played with a real good attacking intent in the way in which they've played, and they've got some very good forward options. So, but interesting to watch them. Enjoyed the game.